Welcome to the latest edition of The Catalyst. In today's discussion, we're thrilled to explore Microsoft's chat-empowered AI technology, New Bing. Keep listening to learn how this technology impacts search and how marketers like you can optimize your campaigns. Joining us today is John Cosley, Senior Director of Global Brand Marketing at Microsoft. John, what trends are you seeing in New Bing's consumer engagement since its launch in February?
Engagement has been pretty spectacular. As you know, we'd been kind of iteratively sort of growing over the years, and this gave us an incredible boost in terms of engagement with Bing, not just the millions of preview users that have signed up, but even the core kind of Bing product usage. And now we've crossed 100 million daily active users of Bing, which is an incredible milestone for us. As I'd mentioned, I think what's really cool about it is that we're seeing growth in a lot of different ways. Partially expected and partially unexpected as users kind of respond to this new experience. Roughly a third of our daily preview users are using the chat functionality on a daily basis, with more than 100 million chats over the last couple of months since it began. And if you think about it, like the mobile use cases of this product, especially the chat product, are tremendous. We're seeing really strong usage and growth there. We have a 6x increase in our mobile daily active users as a result. And what I find incredibly exciting is that we're seeing about 15% of people using the new Bing to generate new content and to create new ideas, which is indicating that like search is really evolving in how we had envisioned and hoped, and that it's moving to more chat creation and answers types of experiences.
What actions should digital marketers take right now to make the most of New Bing?
I think the main thing is that we're advising our agency and brand partners and clients to really lean into this as a strategic priority. Usage is growing, as evidenced by the numbers that I just sort of walked you through. It's growing fast. Ads are now live or have been live in this experience since it launched. And we're innovating on a regular basis constantly, day over day and week over week, as we're learning about new consumer behavior changes and how they engage both with the chat experience itself as well as the ads within it. And so we want everyone to be thinking about how to utilize this in a very kind of strategic way. And we also are advising that we don't want advertisers to miss out on the opportunity. As we're seeing this fast and growing space, we don't want people sort of putting this in the innovation budget, if you will, or budget bucket, which oftentimes gets cut or is generally relatively small, and to keep it as part of their scaled and performance kind of media budget line item. That way they don't hit into a cap or put that at risk and are in a place to capitalize on the growth we're seeing.
What do you see New Bing unlocking for advertisers?
There's sort of four kind of big areas that we're kind of keeping an eye on. And we feel like that will add sort of that value back to advertisers. The first, of course, that many advertisers are interested in and excited about is just more audience reach, right? And so, as complex queries can be understood in kind of a greater depth and precision, as well as usage grows, obviously to create more extended customer reach opportunities on searches that really were not necessarily monetizable before by ads. Think like big, long, multi-query types of searches. In addition, of course, due to like the conversational aspect and strength, these broad queries can really resolve more quickly down into actionable intent, which can help us drive better outcomes in helping to create, surface areas for consumers to connect with new offers and products. The second area is really about greater relevancy. And the third area is just really around improved insights. And the thing to understand there is like we're only just understanding how consumer behaviors are going to evolve in these new experiences and how that will unlock deeper audience intelligence and understanding in a changing consumer decision journey. And our goal is to help us create those insights and help inform our advertisers' strategies to kind of be more successful as consumers, find, powerful use cases for chat and the new Bing experience. And the fourth, we'll call it last but not least, is really what I might consider sort of your return on time spent, if you will, of some of what I covered earlier was more kind of return on advertising spend. And as we enter this sort of new age of productivity, if you will, sort of doing more with less, the power of this technology can really help search marketers and advertisers be more efficient in a time of kind of feeling the pressure of getting more done with less. And that will help them improve not just their return on ad spend, but their return on time spent as we think about applying these into automation and recommendation tools that help our marketers and our customers be successful.
Is it currently possible to target new Bing chat queries with ads?
For now, it's very early days. And look, we're kind of learning here about, how consumers are behaving, how consumers will use these things, how CDJs will change, all the things I've mentioned during the course of our conversation. And so there's no way today to specifically create campaigns or target queries specifically for the chat experience. Additionally, reporting isn't currently kind of broken out separately from your normal reporting in our platform with that new Bing chat experience. So our guidance and recommendation is just to continue to optimize your campaigns overall for better performance. And those optimizations will kind of feed into the new chat experience as well.
With limited controls, what should SEMs do to take advantage of new Bing's chat experience?
Certainly things that come to mind are kind of keyword research and how these technologies can really help to uncover sort of new opportunities. It can help with reporting, especially as we think about some of the co-pilot kind of capabilities. I think every search marketer kind of loves Excel, right? And the power there. And while it's not broadly available yet, the potential is super cool in terms of the ability to ask kind of Excel Copilot to help you collate and to find insights and reports that are thousands or millions of sort of rows long. So those kinds of things come to mind. Certainly ad copy, research and optimization, helping with the creative process, just giving you more options and ideas to work with as you hone in, as well as how it can help you kind of test and optimize. All those things kind of come to mind for me. So hopefully that helps.
In addition to search, how can GPT-4 assist across the Microsoft Audience Network?
I think that there's sort of a few things come to mind for me. There's, we'll call it just kind of understanding, sort of how I think the technology works. There's a lot that we're doing on the back end to make improvements. For our Microsoft Audience Network, for example, it uses a lot of search signals. You can think about our audience network sort of being like search intent driven for native advertising. And so this is really helping us to deliver, kind of better audience understanding and telemetry and how we extend kind of what they're doing on the search side in reaching them in relevant ways through kind of our native ad product. And so that's all kind of happening sort of, behind the scenes, if you will. On the front end, I think that, some of the areas that obviously come to mind are in the creative sort of exploration, not just we'll call it the written word aspect, but the visual creative side of things. As you think about integration of DALL-E with kind of the Bing chat experience, that helps you really to, get more creative visually in how you're kind of bringing, I guess just for consumers overall, but for marketers, how they might be thinking about optimizing their creative and visual ad experiences that would flow into something like our Microsoft Audience Network, which is a more visual based sort of ad product. And that can be a really powerful tool as you think about, sort of the visual experience of your brand kind of coming to life to drive that eye-catching, engagement, if you will.
Thank you for tuning in. Are you interested in more performance marketing insights like this? Subscribe to our blog so you can be the first to know when the next episode of The Catalyst drops.